Hi, hello. I started watching a few new shows and I'm going to talk about them. The first one's called Dear X. It's about this girl who just manipulates everyone around her to get what she wants. And she was, okay, so it's kind of a lot. So I'm going to try to sum this up because I've made a couple of other videos where I was trying to explain and I just realized it was just too much and the show didn't even make sense. So basically it's about this girl. She's a sociopath. That's right away acknowledged in the plot. Heavily abused as a child. Parents are trash and horrible, and as she gets older she kind of just she calls them exes in her life of people she wants to essentially get out of her way and make way for her life. So her first ex was her mom because her mom was abusive and beat her. Her dad ends up killing the mom by throwing her down a flight of stairs. Yeah, her dad's horrible. And then in the most recent episode she figures out a way to get her dad killed in a way that won't implicate her at all. She's so smart and she's manipulating everyone around her. She has this really close friend who at one point was her stepbrother, but then when their parents divorced they were no longer step siblings. It was weird because I was like, oh, this is a tangled web, and it just got that much weirder. But technically they're not step siblings anymore. Their parents, I think, divorced pretty early on in their marriage because both her dad and his mom are not great people. Her dad's really bad. His mom is maybe a little less terrible, but pretty terrible. And she's basically just manipulates everyone around her to get what she wants. And at the point in the show, she's 18 or 19, but then there's I'm guessing a time jump to when she's an adult as an actress. Because that's a big part of the show is that's she ends up becoming this really famous, very well-known actress. And then I'm guessing more shenanigans go down and she manipulates more people. But yeah, she's a horrible person. There's things, it's a very interesting show and a very interesting character because you do sympathize with her to a certain extent because you're okay, you were abused horribly and I understand why you'd want to take, revenge essentially on these people, but it's also you're a horrible person and you're ruining innocent people's lives. And the guy that she has this, okay, I'm trying to think how to explain. She works at this coffee shop. She has this boss who's a really good guy, just a solid man, just genuinely a good person, wants to help people, is really great. And she, because of this cafe that she works at, she had actually gone viral because she's incredibly pretty. That's a big part of her character. Is she's a gorgeous, she's just show-stoppingly pretty. And she went viral because people were taking pictures of her. Really weird if you think about it, actually. But anyways, and there was this guy, this random one-off guy who's definitely a stalker and freaky and weird, and he was obsessed with her and he was stalking her. And then he almost attacks her at one point and she defends herself and beats him up with a brick to the head. She defends herself. And her friend, who was again the one point her stepbrother, was not anymore because I don't know if I said this, but he's in love with her 100%. And since she's a sociopath, I don't think she really has emotions nor feels anything. She did say one thing she said to him was, I don't care if you get hurt, but I don't want to be the one to hurt you. So I'm oof, this is confusing. She basically just she uses him, and she kind of they've kind of trauma bonded because of their childhood. So they're weird. They have a very confusing relationship. But anyways, he finds her after she almost got attacked by her actual stalker, and she gets all mad at him because she's you can't, how far would you go for me? And he's anything but murder. And she's well, that's not good enough for me, because she's basically you need to be willing to kill for me. She's a sociopath, again, as we said. But then he threatens the stalker guy, and he's hey, you better not ever talk about this, blah, blah, blah. And the guy's okay, I won't. But then later on in the plot, we see her still being stalked by this guy, and you're wait, what? That's confusing. And her coworker who works with her at the coffee shop saw he never actually explains what he saw, but he just says, I saw her with I saw that, he's telling his boss, he's I saw the stalker, because we knew that she was getting there was a weird guy that was following her around. He's I saw him with someone. But then that's all he says, and we don't get anything more than that. But the implication is that she to create, oh my gosh, she's got a long plan to create this idea that a stalker was coming after her. She went back to her original stalker and was basically okay, you need to follow me around. And he had this tan beanie, and she then buys a beanie that looks exactly like her stalker's beanie to okay, and she takes that beanie and she gives it to her dad, who's abusive, as we said. He's a horrible person. He's actual trash, terrible person. And she's been trying to figure out a way to get rid of him, essentially. And so she gives him the same beanie, and then provokes him, which also wouldn't take much because, he's abusive and horrible, and almost gets herself beaten to death so that her boss, who works at the coffee shop, who's a really good person, comes and is like defending her. And then the dad tries to attack the boss, and the boss, in self-defense, ends up killing him. And so then she gets, oh, hold on, my computer's go away. So then she gets rid of her dad, which is what she wanted to do, and she implicates the boss and makes the boss be the villain, essentially, who murdered her dad. And she, like, calls the police, and she's, like, crying on the phone, where she's like, oh my gosh, my dad, he's hurt, because then she gets away, and she looks as innocent as possible, and because she manipulated the boss into, so I don't know if that makes sense, but essentially she has, like, this elaborate design to get what she wants, and she's able to manipulate so many people to do it, and she's really good at it, because she just sees people as, like, objects to, like, help her. She doesn't see them as people. So anyway, so then her boss ends up, like, getting, like, implicated for it. And I was watching the show, and I was really annoyed, because I was like, it doesn't even make sense that he would get blamed for murdering her dad, because it was like, he could easily just be like, it was self-defense. I was defending her, and then I was defending myself, but the show doesn't go that route, I guess, because she was, like, sacrificing him to be free of her dad, essentially, because she doesn't care about him, like, she doesn't care about him at all. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm really not worried about it if it doesn't, because I don't want to try to go back and explain. But anyways, that's basically the plot, is like her just manipulating people and getting to get what she wants. And I don't know what the end goal of the show is, and I don't know what the end plot is. It's just essentially a story of her friend, and then this other guy that's in the plot as well, who's like, I'm not going to try to explain his part, because it doesn't matter that much, and he hasn't even been in the show that much, so we'll wait and see. So that's basically that show. It's super good. I was, like, really impressed by the acting. It's been incredible. And then the next show that I'm watching is called The Manipulated. A similar kind of manipulation plot, but this one's really trippy. So it's about this guy. He's really hardworking. He has a devoted girlfriend. He's got a group of friends. He's got a younger brother, and he's kind of trying to make ends meet, trying to make money, trying to, just, like, hustle. He's trying to hustle. And he one day is on one of his, like, part-time jobs, his many part-time jobs he's doing, and he hears a phone ringing behind him in the bushes, and he answers the phone, and he's like, hello, and this lady's like, oh my gosh, I lost my phone here, can you come bring it to me? And he's like, well, I'm on the clock, I can't bring it to you. And she's like, oh, I can't leave my house, like, I'll give you money if you bring it to me. And he's like, oh, I need money, of course. So then he goes where she tells him, and it's this random kind of deserted area with, like, a tunnel, and then there's a phone box in there, and she says, oh, can you put my phone in there? Like, I don't want you to come to my address, because he's kind of like, I'm in this random area, like, where do you want me to go? Can I just come to your house? And she's like, no, I don't want to give my address to a random person, so put it in this phone box in the tunnel. And he's like, okay. So then he goes and he does that. He takes the money out, because she left money in there, which, by the way, if he was, thought for more than 5 seconds, he would have been like, hey, if she can't leave her house, how did she put the money there, but she can't come get her phone? Logic. So anyways, he does that, and then he leaves. And then the next day he gets arrested for the murder and a word I'm not going to say, the rape of a random woman. And he's like, what are you talking about? I didn't do it. I didn't murder anyone. I didn't do anything. I haven't made this crime at all. Basically, all the evidence gets stacked against him, and he ends up going to prison for this. And it's like, there's a bunch of stuff that just goes wrong, and it's all very set up. It's giving the vibe of it all being set up. And he goes into prison, and then it turns out that his brother killed himself, and his girlfriend essentially breaks up with him, which, by the way, don't like his girlfriend. I'm going to be honest with you. Not a huge fan of her. I don't like her, and I kind of hope she doesn't get a redemption arc, low-key, because I'm like, I didn't like her. For different reasons. I didn't think her explanation of why she, like, ends up basically leaving him while he's in, like, the depths of despair was, like, a very good excuse, but, whatever. And so then he's just, like, absolutely, he got life in prison. Like, he got falsely accused. His whole family's basically gone, essentially. He's like, I don't even want to live. And he tries to himself a few times. And then he ends up meeting this guy in the, there's, like, a church in the jail. And the guy is the altar boy sounds weird because he's, like, a grown man, but, like, altar person who, like, helps the priest or whatever. And basically he becomes close with that guy and ends up kind of getting out of this slump and starts to, like, actually, like, as much as you can be productive in jail, starts to, like, be productive and, like, choose to, like, live again, essentially. And he's doing all these things. He's kind of got a, an okay life. Like, he's getting beat up on the regular, so he gets jacked and, works out so he can be, like, super sexy and, like, beat people up that are, like, messing with him or whatever. And he builds this little garden, because the big thing is, like, he has a lot to do with plants. Like, he's really good at, like, he's, like, really good with plants and stuff. I don't know. He makes his own little garden, whatever. Life is okay considering, he's literally in jail for the rest of his life. And then he meets this guy that gets, like, put into... this new what's the word? Not patient. New prisoner. And the guy goes to to confess in, like, a, confession box or whatever. And he's, like, trying to encourage him, and he gives him a Bible. And then the guy's like, hey, I didn't do it. I got set up. I heard a phone ringing. I answered it. And then he's going down the list. And literally every single thing he's saying is what happened to our main character. And he's, like, freaking out because he's like, this is, like, that's, like, exactly what happened to me. And then that guy ends up killing himself. Ooh. And this kind of, like, shakes him awake. And he's like, I don't know what to do. Like, is everything that I thought, like, everything that happened to me calculated, and every single thing is, like, the exact, like, this is happening to other people. Like, this is not nothing. And then there was this guy who was his, like, lawyer, who's, like, his public defender, who took his case on. And the guy basically said... he, like, confronts him, and he's basically like, I was, like, set up, and, like, my brother didn't actually kill himself. Like, he was murdered. And he's just, like, basically slowly realizing everything was calculated, and he was manipulated into all of this. And it was all a big orchestrated thing. And he basically decides, like, I am going to prove that I'm going to get out of jail. Like, I'm going to try to escape and get out of here and, like, figure out. He just no longer is like, I'm gonna stay in prison now. He's like, no, now I know that everything was manipulated and everything was a product of these people decided to frame me. He doesn't know who the people are. He doesn't know what happened. He just knows he was, like, framed, which obviously he would have assumed that something went wrong along the way, but he didn't know that he was being, like, literally set up from beginning to end to, like, take the fall for this murder that happened. And so then the episode that I left off on, he's just tried to escape. But then they sent in a cleanup crew. So basically this really hot, sexy guy who's pretending to be a doctor injects him because they're like, oh, we're getting vaccinations. And he gets this lethal dose of something, and it's supposed to kill him. And we know he doesn't die because there's still, like, 4 episodes left. So I know he's not dead, but somehow he doesn't die, but he gets, like, he almost gets out of prison. Like, he almost escapes because he basically does this, like, elaborate, like, thing to, like, this scheme to get out and to, like, disguise himself as just, like, a civilian. But he gets all the way out, and then he collapses because, again, he's, like, not okay. And throughout the show, we've gotten little glimpses of this guy who's, like, this uber rich bad guy, and he's, like, definitely manipulating. He's the mastermind behind everything. Now, and that's where I kind of left off in the plot, as we still don't technically know how he didn't die, so we're gonna find out. Because I think he is back in prison, so I'm like, at some point he's going to get out of prison, but I don't know how he's gonna do it again since his first attempt failed. Anyways, so the actor that plays the main guy is one of my favorite actors. I love him so much. He is solid. He gives everything that needs to be given every time he's in a show. He's so hot and such a good actor, and I love him. The guy that plays the villain is one of also my favorite actors / idols. He's in this group called EXO. His name is Kyungsoo, and he has one of my literal favorite voices that's maybe ever been in music. I love him so much. I think he's a really good actor. And he's playing a villain role for the first time, and I was like, because literally getting to see him play a villain role, it's so fun. He hasn't gone super crazy psycho yet, and I know it's gonna happen because he's, like, definitely not, like, sane. The guy is, like, definitely insane, but he's given, like, very, like, listen to me because I'm rich and hot and crazy, and I'm like, I'm listening. But anyways, so I'm excited to see their interactions, because obviously he's gonna, our main character is gonna find out that this guy has been, like, orchestrating everything, and for what reason? Not really sure. He's just an evil guy. So that's that show. The next show, okay. This one I've only watched 2 episodes, and I'm probably not gonna keep watching this show, to be honest, but technically it's still on my watch list, so I'll talk about it. It's called Last Summer, and it's basically this plot about this girl and these 2 twin brothers that she grew up with over the last, like, 17 years. One of the brothers, because the twins' parents were split, so one lives in the US, one lives in Korea. So one of the brothers stays with his dad in Korea, and then the other brother stays with his mom in the U.S. The one brother that lives in the U.S. does come for the summertime in Korea. And so that's when the girl, the main character, she would interact with both twins. Or maybe only one of them, to be honest. The show has made it very confusing which twin is which and what's going on. Because there's like a whole like back and forth of it all. So all you need to know is for the summer, she hung out with the one twin who usually lived in the U.S. That's what you mostly need to know. And then something happened like 2 years prior to the current plot. And she cut ties with him, and Loki hates him. And then he comes back after 2 years and like is like kind of back in her life and just like around her area of work and all these things. And he's like trying to, like, his whole thing is like, I want to work through what happened 2 years ago and fix it all. And like, I want to work through it with you and like get on the other side, essentially. Cause it's like something really sad happened. And I saw someone had I don't know if it was like an actual spoiler or if it was just their theory or if they read it somewhere or something. But the theory is that the female lead was friends with obviously both twins. And then the one of the twins, the one who lived in Korea like all the time, dies. And then the twin that's from the US pretends to be that twin to like save her, to soften the blow of his brother's death or something like that. And then she finds out that he was pretending to be his brother, and she gets really mad. That's like a theory that I've heard. I don't really know if it makes sense, but it's kind of the only thing that makes sense in this plot of like what happened, and the fact that the other brother isn't in the show and has not even really been shown, and we don't even know, because one of them wears glasses and one of them doesn't. So everyone's theory is like, oh, when he's wearing glasses, that's this brother. When he's not wearing glasses, that's the other brother. And I'm like, I don't know if it's that cut and dry or if there's like more nuance to it. And I don't know, a lot of people were ragging on the female lead because they're like, oh my gosh, she's so rude and whatever. And it's like, well, obviously the reason she's so rude is because, like, there's a reason why. Like, she hates him and there's a reason why. She's not just being a bad person. Like, there's obviously a reason. Whatever, I don't really care that much, to be honest. I like the actor. I've only seen the female lead, I think, maybe one time. Maybe once in one show or a movie. So I don't have a lot of feelings towards her particularly. I think she's a good actress. I've just never really seen her in anything. But the actor that plays the guy, I've seen him in a few shows and I really liked him. But I don't know if I care enough about the show to keep watching it. I'm like, And then I stopped watching Would You Marry Me? Is that what it's called? Something like that. Because I just kind of gave up on the plot. The ex was getting too much screen time. The evil uncle was getting too much screen time. I don't care. It's a romantic comedy. Why is there a murder plot? And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say any more than that. Because ridiculous. And then another show that's I haven't started yet, but it's on my watch list to like it came out yesterday or the day before. It's called Moon River, and it's basically it's like a historical drama. So it's about this like guy. I don't know if he's the king or a prince or if he's just like a nobleman. If you can hear my dog barking, don't worry about it. He's like someone of higher rank. And I think he's kind of seen as like this is like basically me taking it off the like synopsis because I haven't watched the show at all. But, like, he's kind of seen as, like, flippant and kind of... Is that how you say that word? Just kind of, like, chilling and whatever. But inside, he's hiding that he's grieving his wife's death. His beloved wife's death. And then he finds this woman who's, like, a peasant or merchant or something like that looks exactly like his deceased wife. And so then there's that connection where she looks like his wife. But then they swap bodies. So then we have a body swap drama, and then obviously they're probably gonna like fall in love, and there's like some other intrigue and stuff. So I haven't started that one yet. It looks interesting. All the promotion I've seen from it is I really like both the male and female lead. I like both of them. So I'm curious to see it, and I probably will start it. I've just had so many shows that I was catching up on that I just haven't sat and watched it. And also I'm like, it's funny to me because I'm like, if it is a body swap drama, I'm not really sure how the romance is gonna happen, because essentially the person would be kissing themselves. That's the thing with body swap, is it can get really confusing when they switch. Because if you think about it, if the woman switches to the man's body if the man wants to kiss the woman, he's kissing, like, she's kissing herself, like herself. That's not really very romantic. So that's really weird. So I'm curious how they're gonna do that. The little clips I've seen of it look really funny, because I love a body swap drama when the woman is when the guy is into the woman, then because then she's like, oh my gosh, where's my... There was a whole subplot of that in the show called Mr. Queen, where it was kind of like a body swap, sort of, in that the guy from the current time period He was like this like arrogant chef went into the body of this like queen. So funny. One of my favorite K-dramas I've watched, genuinely. But there was a whole scene where she freaks out because she's like, oh my gosh, my parts are gone. Whatever. It was really funny. You get it. Anyway, so I'm curious to see how this show's gonna go. I think that the female lead, Sejong, she's I love her. She's great. She's funny, and so I feel like she'll kill it. And then the guy that plays the male lead is also really, like, I've seen him in serious dramas and funny dramas, and I think he's good in both. So I'm curious to see their dynamic, and I think they'll have good chemistry as well. So that's that one. I just haven't started it yet. And then this one, okay, this one's called As You Stood By. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not entirely sure what the plot is about, because I saw like promotions for it and I started the first episode, but I got like 5 minutes into it, so I'm like, I haven't really gotten into the story. But from what I know about the plot, it's these two women who are friends, and one of the women has an abusive husband, and then the other one, I don't know if she's like connected to anyone. There's another guy. It's like two women and two men, and two of them are married, and then the other two, I don't know if they're married or if there's like a relationship between them, or if, I don't know who they are to each other. But I know that the woman with a husband, like, he's horrible. We know that. And actually, maybe I'll watch that episode next, because I started it, but I might get more into it. We know he's horrible, and I think it's like like them deciding to like kill the husband, or like something like that, get rid of him or something. I think that's the plot, like the two women deciding to work together to get rid of him. I think it's something like that, but again, as I haven't watched it enough, I've watched 5 minutes of it. I don't have a ton of other context to what it's about. I didn't really read I don't remember what the synopsis was. So that's that show. And I mean, again, I watched 5 minutes. I don't have an opinion about it yet. I like the two female leads and I like the two male leads. So I'm like, I'll see how it all shakes out. And then the most recent show, or not most recent, but like the show that I've been watching the longest is the Typhoon Family, the one I've talked about. It has Lee Jun-ho, it has Kim Min-ha. I love both of them. I think they're both doing incredible jobs. I think anything with Jun-ho is good because I'm biased towards him. I love him. But I also think that he has good chemistry with like pretty much everyone I've ever seen him with. And I think the female lead, Min-ha, also she's really good in general. She's a really good actress, and I also think that she has good chemistry with everyone she's in scenes with, so I think that also helps. There's a side character though that I can't stand, and I don't know if he's supposed to be funny, but he's like low-key really sexist and like really annoying to the female lead, like, because it's like they all work at this company, it's a whole thing, whatever. I'm not gonna try to go into detail because I don't want to, but anyways, and he's like really sexist and annoying, and I'm hoping that we can like either he can have some character development or he can like become humble, because he's really full of himself too, and it's like, bro, you're not him, and he's really annoying, so I'm like, I don't like him like at all. So I'm hoping he stops getting so much screen time, because also I think our characters are gonna kiss this episode. I'm so excited because they are so cute. I love them so much. They have such a fun bond, and it's like so genuine. Like both of them are so cute. So we might get a kiss. I'm excited. Okay, so that's pretty much all the shows I've been watching. I've obviously been watching my one anime as well. I haven't gotten any further in it because the next season doesn't come out for a while, and I kind of have been delaying finishing it because I'm like, I have like 6 episodes left, and I'm like, I might as well just wait till I'm a little closer to that season 3 coming out, because it's like at this point, I mean, I'm almost done with season 2, but I'm like, So I haven't finished that one yet, but I've been watching that one for a while. But it's so good, and I love it so much. And I might actually end up making a YouTube video about it when I'm finally done with it, because I think it's worth talking about, because it's really good. I swear I'm watching a different show and I just forgot to talk about it, but I don't think so. I think that's all of them. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's like one more. No, I guess not. Anyways, so I think that's all I have to say. So, enjoy! Yep, that was bad.